We spent the last decade moving away from legacy data warehouses, only to rebuild something just as complex in the cloud. Multiple pipelines, multiple orchestration layers, disconnected governance. So the question is, did we actually simplify data architecture or just redistribute the complexity? Today's modern data stack looks something like this: ingestion pipelines, streaming systems, transformation layers, orchestration engines, data quality frameworks. 5 layers, 5 ownership models, 5 failure points. Each solving a piece of the problem, but none owning the system end to end. This fragmentation is what makes migrating away from the legacy systems like Hadoop or Teradata so painful. Lakeflow is Databricks' attempt to unify that sprawl, not by adding another tool, but by introducing something we have been missing: a control plane for data systems. Today we examine the mental framework for assessing Databricks Lakeflow as an abstraction layer designed to simplify this complexity. Welcome to Architect Mindset, your blueprint for modern systems. Architects value the single pane of glass experience, where ingestion, transformation, and orchestration live in one environment. This is where Databricks has positioned Lakeflow ecosystem around 3 key pillars that enables a production-first engineering approach: the Lakeflow Connect, Lakeflow Pipelines, and the Lakeflow Jobs. In this section, let us try to understand Lakeflow Connect first. Our migration starts with ingestion. In the past, this meant writing custom autoloader scripts for every source. In 2026, consider using Lakeflow Connect. It provides native serverless connectors for databases like SQL Server, PostgreSQL, and enterprise apps like Salesforce, Workday, ServiceNow, SharePoint, etc. It supports incremental data ingestion using CDC, change data capture, to reduce latency and infrastructure cost, thus handling the heavy lifting and schema discovery automatically. An architect will typically prioritize Lakeflow Connect over established players like Fivetran or Airbyte in scenarios where cost optimization for high volume data, unified governance, and low latency streamings are the primary drivers. While Fivetran remains the gold standard for hands-off automation and broad connector variety, its pricing is based on monthly active rows (MAR), which can become prohibitively expensive for high-volume datasets or large-scale migrations. Whereas Lakeflow Connect follows the Databricks DBU consumption model, which often results in a lower total cost of ownership for organizations with massive data stores that would otherwise trigger high MAR charges. Moreover, Databricks offers a free tier for Lakeflow Connect, around 100 free DBUs per day per workspace. This can ingest up to 100 million records daily from supported sources like Salesforce or SQL Server at no additional software cost. This 100 DBU daily credit equates to roughly $35 in saved compute cost per workspace per day, which is approximately $12,775 annually. The 100 DBU allowance is applied automatically to billing. Usage exceeding this amount is charged at standard rates. For architects focused on security, Lakeflow Connect provides native end-to-end lineage within the Unity catalog. This eliminates the governance gap that occurs when data travels through a third-party vendor's environment before reaching the Lakehouse. With Fivetran, lineage metadata is available, but you need to activate it into your governance framework manually. Since Lakeflow Connect sits inside the Lakehouse ecosystem, row-based access control, fine-grained permissions, and audit logs are consistent across ingestion and storage. This reduces the risk of compliance gaps that occur when using a third-party ingestion tool. With Lakeflow Connect, data stays within your chosen cloud region. This simplifies GDPR, DPDP Act, or HIPAA compliances because you don't have to worry about data being routed through external vendor infrastructure. Lakeflow Connect can leverage Delta Lake features like schema enforcement, masking, and row-level security. This makes it easier to comply with data minimization and anonymization requirements compared to Fivetran or any other such tool where you would have to configure transformations outside the ingestion pipeline. Once the data is landing via Connect, we use Lakeflow SDP for the transformation. In architectural terms, Lakeflow pipelines are the logic layer that defines how data is transformed from raw ingestion to curated goal tables. The most critical thing architects value is the declarative approach. Instead of writing complex how-to code for handling task dependencies, retries, and manual checkpoints, engineers simply declare the what scenario in SQL or in Python. Lakeflow's native data quality framework is gaining traction for its flexibility. It allows developers to embed expectations and define real-time constraints like warn, drop, and fail seamlessly within the pipeline logic to automate error handling and thus proactively handle the bad data as soon as it arrives. A major architectural headache is the Lambda architecture, that is maintaining separate code bases for batch and streaming. But Lakeflow pipelines solve this by allowing this exact same code to run in triggered mode and in continuous mode. Unlike the previous DLT iteration, which felt like a proprietary black box, Lakeflow pipelines is built on the Spark Declarative Pipelines open standard. Databricks has contributed this framework to Apache Spark, signaling that they are not completely logged into a proprietary vendor. Architects care about the day-to operations. Lakeflow pipelines provides event logs. Here every action, quality check, and performance metric is captured in a queryable delta table, allowing architects to build custom monitoring dashboards without external tools. If you want a deeper look at the Lakeflow SDP, we have added a dedicated video to our channel playlist. You can click the link in the description to watch it next. Databricks Lakeflow Job is your orchestration hub that provides a single point of truth for your entire data flow by automating the scheduling, dependency management, and monitoring. It represents a strategic move from the workflow first to data first orchestration. It eliminates the need to manage external schedulers, metadata databases, or worker nodes. This reduces the number of moving parts in your architecture, lowering the operational risk. Jobs run on the serverless compute that starts in seconds, automatically scales horizontally and vertically to prevent the out-of-memory errors, and shuts down instantly upon completion. Unlike Airflow, where version upgrades can break the directed acyclic graphs logic, Lakeflow Jobs is versionless. Databricks manages the control plane and runtime updates in the background with a 99.9% reliability SLA. The table update triggers can automatically start a downstream job only when a specific Unity catalog table is updated. The file arrival triggers initiates processing immediately when new data lands in the cloud storage, replacing complex sensor polling patterns used in other tools. There exists a native support for always-on streaming pipelines that maintain sub-minute latency without the communication overhead of frequent external triggers. Before moving data, you must right-size the estate using automated profilers like the Databricks Lakebridge Analyzer. It automatically scans metadata to identify unused tables and complexity levels of the stored procedures. Only migrate the gold and critical silver workloads. Decommissioning legacy datasets early in the discovery phase can reduce the migration scope by 20 to 30%. For the actual data move, architects should use a hybrid lift and shift then modernize strategy. Use Lakeflow Connect for the seamless serverless ingestion from sources like SQL Server or Salesforce. Natively enable the change data capture (CDC) to keep the Lakehouse in sync with the legacy warehouse during the transition period. Use Lakehouse Federation to query legacy data in place without moving it, allowing for a phased transition where new dashboards runs on Databricks while data is still migrated. Code conversion is typically the bottleneck. A factory strategy uses the Gen AI-powered accelerators to handle the heavy lifting. For dialect translation, use Lakebridge to automatically convert the proprietary SQL into Databricks-compatible ANSI SQL or PySpark. Wrap the converted SQL in Databricks notebooks to gain the version control, testing, and AI-assisted debugging. Automated reconciliation ensures the migration does not break business trust. Run automated scripts to compare the row counts and checksums between the source legacy system and the new delta tables. Select a single high-value end-to-end use case as a production pilot to document best practices and iron out security or governance patterns. The framework is only successful if it is manageable. So establish Unity catalog early to manage the permissions and track end-to-end lineage from the moment ingestion starts. Standardize all factory outputs like Databricks asset bundles to ensure every migrated pipeline is version controlled and deployable across the development, test, and production. A common mistake is triggering pipelines too frequently on low volume sources. The pitfall here is that continuous or high frequency triggers on low volume data creates a massive number of small files in the cloud storage. This degrades the read performance due to the metadata overhead and input-output round trips and can lead to cloud storage API throttling. Therefore, you must align trigger intervals with actual data volume rather than just a fixed schedule. Use liquid clustering to handle data layout more efficiently. Lakeflow runs on Databricks Compute, which is optimized for heavy-duty data processing. So the pitfall is using Lakeflow Jobs for tiny coordination tasks like simple API calls, health checks, or metadata updates. The impact is a lightweight task that costs cents in a tool like Airflow can cost you dollars on Databricks job cluster. So for an architect, keep the coordination logic modular. For purely non-data intensive tasks, consider external serverless functions or lightweight orchestrators if cost becomes a bottleneck. When working with streaming tables or materialized views, streaming state is maintained incrementally. Be careful changing the logic of a stateful query, like modifying a watermark or aggregating column, without planning for a full refresh. The new logic is often incompatible with existing state, requiring a full recompute of the historical data, which is actually expensive. If the source has short attention, this can result in a permanent data loss. That is why use a medallion architecture. Landing data into bronze table first ensures you always have the full history available to rebuild silver or gold stateful tables safely. Despite its no-code appeal, some advanced operations still require manual coding. A common pitfall is over-reliance on the Lakeflow Designer UI for complex logic. Here, operations like pivot are not natively supported in the graphical interface, and that requires manual SQL nodes. These black box code snippets within a graphical tool can become a hard-to-maintain technical debt. Therefore, standardize the complex transformations in shared notebooks or libraries that can be versioned via Databricks asset bundles. Architects must design within platform-level quotas to avoid errors. A common pitfall is scaling out many small, independent pipelines in a single workspace. Workspaces are limited to 1,000 concurrent pipeline updates and 2,000 concurrent task runs. Therefore, reaching these limits will halt new jobs during the peak demand. Therefore, wherever logical, group related tables like up to 250 within a single pipeline, and consider an isolation strategy using multiple workspaces for different business units. Lakeflow has turned the migration nightmare into manageable, automated reality. By unifying ingestion, transformation, and orchestration, you can finally shut down those legacy servers for good. Now that we have moved our data into the Lakehouse, we need to master how we manage it at a global scale. So join me next week as we dive into Unity catalog deployment strategies, where we will look at Metastore topology and multi-region setup. Subscribe to lead the charge, and I will see you in the next one.